come and join me for morning announcements.
Good morning, Shamrock friends. Today is Friday, March 27th, and the weather today is going to be showers and thunderstorms with a high of 68. Wow, just heard some thunder out there, so make sure you are careful today. Hey, we've got lots of birthdays to celebrate. We've got one today. We've got Alex in Mrs. Alfred's class. I'm going to go ahead and read off the rest of the March birthdays, and we'll get the April birthdays when we get back. We've got some other birthdays to celebrate from March 28th year on out. We've got Simon in Mrs. Alfred's class. We've got Drew in Miss Kelly's class. We've got Ethan in Mrs. Timmy's class. We've got Daniel in Mrs. Alfred's class and Rose in Mrs. Alfred's class. And we also have Blair in Miss Clacy's class. We've got Hampton in Miss Biddle's class. And we also got Mason in Mrs. Bertram's class and Mila in Mrs. Smith's class. And one more, we've got Carissa in Mrs. Nita's class. So lots of birthdays to celebrate to round off March. Hey, we got lots of responses, some hypotheses for that science experiment. Like, what is your guess of what's going to happen when you've got that red water, hot water food coloring, and you got the cooler blue water on the bottom? What's going to happen when you pull that piece of paper out? So thank you. Literally dozens of responses and hypothesis and lots of good thoughts on that. But boy, we thought we'd get some thoughts on the most famous scientist that we know here in Westfield. So let's go ahead and see what her thoughts are.
Good morning, Mr. Hedges and Shamrock family. I was super excited to see the science experiment on the announcements yesterday. And so I thought I have to send in a hypothesis. But Mr. Hedges, before I tell you my hypothesis, I have to let you in on a little secret. In the STEM room, we always sing the word hypothesis because it is such a beautiful word. So here goes. Mr. Hedges, my hypothesis is that the red water will be pulled down by the force of gravity and mix with the blue water, and the water will turn purple. I can't wait to see if my hypothesis is right or wrong. Bye.
Hey, welcome back. Hopefully you guys got an answer of why you think something is going to happen, and how many of you predicted, well, let's just find out. Let's see what happens. And again, we'll explain why it happens in just a little bit. But again, some of you might have thought that the water, how many of you thought that the water is going to mix? How many think that the water is not going to do anything at all? How many think they might actually flip the water? You know, so the blue may end up on top, the red may end up on the bottom. Well, let's find out. Yeah, I gotta make sure this is perfectly lined up. Okay, gotta be patient sometimes with science. And there you go. What do you know? The red stayed on top. Gosh, why is that? And again, we had several great answers. And the reason is because the red is actually hot water, and the blue is cold water, and the hot air or hot water rises, and it stays right there. So what do you think if I'm going to flip it over? What do you think is going to happen? Make a quick guess. Okay, hot air rises, cold air or cold water is going to sink down. The hot water is going to stay up. So what do you think is going to happen? You guessed it. They actually mix all together. How cool is that? So we'll be doing some more of these science lessons throughout the rest of our morning announcements. Thank you for joining me. How many of you had the right hypothesis? How many of you at least tried to make that educated guess? That's what science is all about, is just making a guess and learning from that. Hey, I've got a few more pictures I want to show you of some of the lifelines that some of our students are displaying. If we've got some families out there where you sent myself or Mr. Marvel some pictures and they never showed up on announcements, let us know, because we want to make sure those get on there. So here they are right now.
All right, students, at this time, if you would, please stand as we do the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. And now for the Shamrock Pledge. I am a Shamrock. I am hardworking. I am kind. And every day, in every way, I am getting better and better. Today, I am going to do the right thing. I am going to treat people right, even if I don't feel like it.
Mr. Marvel and I thought that we would end all of the announcements we had recently with one of our favorites, the kitty cat stretch. And now for the mindful down. Sit up tall and clasp your fingers together with your eyes closed. Stretch your arms out straight out in front of you and turn your hands so your palms are pressing out away from your body. Take a big breath in. Let the air out and round your back like a kitty cat stretching. Meow. Pull your belly in and press your hands as far away from you as you can. Take another big breath in. Let the air out. Round your back like a kitty cat stretching. Meow. Now, let your hands go and give your arms a little shake and slowly open your eyes. Now we're going to continue with Chapter 7 of the Mercy Watson book. The smell of butter was absolutely everywhere. The smell of butter was driving Mercy wild. Where was the butter smell coming from? Mercy thought she would go and investigate. She leaped out of the convertible. She moved with purpose. Was there anything more heavenly than being hot on the trail of a true butter smell? Mercy did not think so. She trotted faster. Mercy Watson was a pig on a mission. And we'll continue with Chapter 8, Mr. Marvel will, when we get back from spring break. And staff, students, and families, hey, just want to thank you so much for all of your hard work over the last couple of weeks with e-learning and just with all of the everything going on. You've handled it with such a great attitude. So can't thank you enough. And we're looking forward to seeing you again right after spring break. Have a great one, everyone.